The Chrisleys built their entire lives on projecting an image of untouchable Southern royalty. But in 2022, the patriarch and matriarch of reality television traded their custom mansions for concrete federal prison cells. Most people assumed their time in the spotlight was over, and they would quietly serve their combined 19-year sentence. Then, an unexpected 2025 pardon released them back into the world. Todd and Julie didn't retreat into obscurity. Almost immediately after walking free, they launched a massive $25 million lawsuit aimed directly at the defense attorneys who represented them during their fraud trial. They claimed the people they trusted with their freedom are the actual reason they lost it. We have to look at the evidence to determine if their legal team actively sabotaged them, or if this lawsuit is simply another multi-million-dollar grift.
For years, millions of viewers tuned in to watch this family navigate life with endless bank accounts and wholesome family values. They were a fixture on the Hollywood red carpet, flaunting their wealth and designer wardrobes. Todd Chrisley controlled that entire narrative. He meticulously managed the family's public image while privately orchestrating every financial move they made. His wife, Julie, operated as his equal partner. She shared the television spotlight and actively participated in the hidden schemes required to keep up appearances. This flowchart maps their hidden wealth. The couple secured $30 million in fraudulent bank loans, funneled directly into real estate and luxury cars. They also generated massive income from television, deliberately routing that money to avoid paying federal income taxes. The lavish properties and high society status were entirely funded by a continuous cycle of criminal bank fraud and tax evasion that was always destined to collapse. The collapse started from the inside. Todd's former business partner, a man who testified under oath to having a year-long intimate affair with Todd, went directly to the FBI. He confessed to committing bank fraud on the couple's behalf, admitting he submitted fake documents and impersonated Todd on phone calls. After a falling out in 2012, he sought revenge by turning the entire operation over to federal investigators. As the investigation tightened, the family turned on their own. Todd and his son Chase discovered that estranged daughter Lindsay Chrisley was involved in an intimate tape, and they tracked it down and purchased it for $5,000. They used that footage as leverage. The family threatened to release the tape publicly unless Lindsay agreed to lie to investigators about Todd's tax history. The willingness to extort their own daughter couldn't stop the federal government. In late 2022, Todd and Julie were convicted in this federal courthouse and handed a combined 19-year prison sentence. Entering the federal prison system was a severe shock for a man accustomed to private security and luxury estates. Todd immediately began making statements about his living conditions. He described a facility overwhelmed by black mold and active rat infestations. During maintenance on the ceiling, workers reportedly found a dead cat that dropped down into the living area.
The inmates were fed out-of-date rations stored in pest-infested units. Todd claimed men were literally starving on diets of barely 1,000 calories a day. Speaking to the media about these conditions provoked the prison staff. Guards allegedly threatened Todd with a punishment known as diesel therapy, putting him in shackles and driving him endlessly between facilities across the country to break his spirit. On the outside, the burden of managing the family's sudden collapse fell entirely on their daughter, Savannah. At 25 years old, she became the primary caregiver for her teenage brother Grayson and young niece Chloe, navigating daily life without her parents. The network immediately canceled their existing reality shows and pulled the plug on future projects. The income streams evaporated overnight, leaving the children to face the financial wreckage while Todd and Julie served their time. The children were supposed to endure this reality for a decade, but a 2025 pardon suddenly wiped away the remaining sentence and allowed Todd and Julie to walk free. Given the scale of their crimes and the embarrassment of the trial, the general expectation was that they would retreat to private life and quietly attempt to rebuild whatever wealth they had left. They chose the exact opposite approach. The very moment they regained their freedom, they launched a highly publicized offensive to destroy the people they insist are responsible for their incarceration. That offensive took the form of a $25 million lawsuit against the law firm Balch and Bingham and their primary defense attorney, Chris Anulowitz. The Chrisleys accused their legal team of gross incompetence. They claimed the attorneys were far more interested in leveraging the family's celebrity status for their own media attention than in mounting a solid defense in the courtroom. This timeline illustrates their specific legal grievances. It highlights points of failure during the 2022 trial, where the defense allegedly ignored or deliberately suppressed crucial evidence that the Chrisleys argue would have changed the jury's verdict. The lawsuit also includes extremely unusual financial allegations. Todd and Julie state that their attorneys actively manipulated them into funding outside projects, including steering the couple's money into a random food truck business. The legal position they are taking is absolute. They are arguing that their guilty verdicts and 19-year federal prison sentences were caused by the greed and sabotage of their own lawyers, rather than the $30 million they stole. These claims are coming from individuals with a heavily documented history of forging bank documents, dodging federal taxes, and threatening to release explicit videos of their own children. We have to look at the reality of the situation. and ask if two of the most notorious manipulators on television genuinely fell victim to a long con executed by their defense counsel. As the case moves toward a judge, the public has to decide, is this $25 million lawsuit a justified strike to expose a corrupt legal defense? Or are the Chrisleys simply running their biggest post-prison grift to fund a brand new empire?